Sister Wives Meri unveils, non-existent. Relationship with Meri Brown has a variety of relationships with her former sister wives, but she says she hasn't heard from Brown the most. On Tuesday, December 10th, Meri exclusively told Us Weekly that she would characterize her friendship with Sister Wives co-star Christine as non-existent, following their respective splits from husband Cody Brown. "I wish her all the best. We have had a lot of life together. We've had a lot of fun in our past, but our paths just don't align right now," Meri said. "They may crisscross here and there throughout our lives, but we're not living parallel lives anymore," as Cody's first wife. Meri has had varying relationships with all of his wives past and present. Meri and Cody wed in 1990 before expanding their family with Brown in 1993 and Christine in 1990, for the polygamist family faced a big change in 2014 when Cody legally divorced Meri and legally married fourth wife Robin Brown. At the time, he also adopted her 3 children from a past marriage while Meri remained in a spiritual union with Cody for nearly another decade. The family began to fracture in 2021 when Christine announced her divorce from the patriarch. Janelle revealed in December 2022 that she had separated from Cody, while Meri waited until January 2023 to confirm her own split. Sister Wives fans have been privy to the ups and downs that have followed the breakups, including Christine getting married in October 2023 to David Woolley. Janelle and her kids were all invited to the nuptials, as was Meri's child Leon, but she was not on the guest list. It was totally fine. "I think that weddings you need to just have the people around you that you are most comfortable with, and I wasn't that for her and I'm totally fine with that," Meri told us of the snub. Meri, who relocated from Arizona to Utah after her marriage was dissolved by the church, stated that she hopes Christine is living her best life, but reaffirmed that their worlds don't cross at the moment. "I think that both of us have probably really just embraced the fact that this is where we are in our lives, and we wish each other the best. I know that she does the same for me." Regarding her relationship with Robin, who is still married to Cody and resides in Arizona, Meri stated that she does talk to Janelle on occasion, describing their exchanges as cordial and decent. She also stated, "I'm happy with how that is." Near the conclusion of Meri's relationship with Cody, the two became close, and she has continued to be involved in Robin's children's life. Meri admitted, "We don't talk very often on the present dynamic between the women. I'm in a place of moving forward in my life and doing things that progress my life, and that's just kind of part of my past." According to the reality star, she has set boundaries that she isn't sure Robin is okay with. "We did have quite a few years through COVID-19 and stuff that we didn't have a lot of interaction, and so it's really not much different than that," Meri explained. The other woman with Cody and Robin, Meri jokes about it on Sister Wives. Meri told us that she is cordial with Cody, despite not knowing where she and Robin stand. "We don't see each other. We're kind to each other, but we're not seeking each other out to have a phone call or a text conversation," she said. "He says often, we'll be friends, and it's like, okay, we'll be friendly, I think, but it's not like we're best friend status or anything like that. I'm good with it." But following their divorce, Meri Brown is talking candidly about her relationship with her ex-husband, Cody Brown. The 54-year-old Sister Wives actress acknowledged during an interview with the I Do Part 2 podcast that the couple had intended to be together even though Cody, 56, got married to Robin Brown legally that same year. 8 years later, Meri and Cody announced their separation, and she ultimately ended their marriage through their church. "We discussed it, and we had a plan and an intention to keep the spiritual side of the marriage going," she said. "That was the plan after all. And we did. That's what we kept doing until a few years ago." But in Sister Wives, Christine Brown was always portrayed as a strong, independent, and kind woman who left her multiple marriages behind to start a new chapter in her life, one that was full of bravery, hope, and the desire for genuine friendship. For years, viewers had followed her hardships, her silent sacrifices, and ultimately her decision to stand alone, but now they were going to see something much more joyous: Christine's wedding to her new partner, the man who had restored her faith and love. With fairy lights draped across wooden beams, vintage lanterns glowing warmly, and wildflowers in every corner, The rustic elegance theme of the wedding was designed to reflect Christine's newfound freedom, happiness, and vitality. The wedding took place at a picturesque vineyard surrounded by autumn-colored trees in the heart of Utah. Isabel assisted in choosing her mother's gorgeous gown, a simple yet elegant lace dress with soft flowing sleeves that made Christine look radiant, while Aspen and Michaelty handled the decorations. Her youngest daughter, Truly, was giddy with anticipation, practicing her role as flower girl a dozen times until she was sure she would do it flawlessly. At the altar, her partner waited with tears in his eyes, overcome by the realization that Christine had chosen him to be the man by her side for the rest of their lives. The guests were in awe as Christine walked down the aisle, looking happier than ever before, holding a bouquet of sunflowers and roses, her smile brighter than any bride's. Christine and her new husband exchanged vows they had written themselves, vows full of promises of loyalty, laughter, and unwavering support, and the ceremony was emotional and heartfelt. The officiant spoke about love that comes after hardship, about second chances, and about creating a life based on respect and trust. The celebration really started after they said, "I do." The guests were treated to a feast of Christine's favorite foods, including roasted vegetables and homemade bread, all prepared family-style. The newlyweds danced for the first time under the string lights, a heartwarming moment that left many crying, and her proud children joined them on the dance floor, encircling their mother with their arms in a circle of happiness. Speeches were given throughout the evening, and Michaelty came up to say that she had never seen her mother so loved, free, and at peace. "Mom deserves this happiness," she said angrily, adding that, "Tonight we all get to celebrate the love she always dreamed of." It was more than just a wedding for Christine. It was a triumph, a representation of her journey from heartbreak to healing, from living in a world where she felt invisible to discovering a love where she was completely loved, and a reminder to women everywhere that it's never too late to make your own decisions, to demand respect, and to find true love. Fans of Sister Wives knew that this was not just a happy ending, but the beginning of a whole new story for Christine Brown, one that was full of love, laughter, and a well-earned happily ever after. As the evening came to a close, Christine and her new husband quietly slipped away, hand in hand, ready to embark on their honeymoon adventure. But with numerous wives, dozens of children, and innumerable family duties, time had always been the most delicate balance in the Brown household. However, a new tension had been building recently, rumors about which wife Cody Brown was spending the most time with. "I'm not spying," Christine insisted during a confessional interview, "but you can't help but notice where he's at. And lately, he's just always at Robin's. It makes the rest of us wonder where we stand." It all began when Christine noticed that Cody's truck appeared to be parked outside Robin's house more often than not. Despite her calm demeanor, Janelle, who is always the practical one, attempted to dismiss it, saying, "I think Cody just feels more comfortable at Robin's because her kids are younger, and she needs more hands-on help. My kids are mostly grown, so I don't demand as much of his time." During her one-on-one, Meri said, "Cody and I have been distant for years. I don't expect him to spend much time with me anymore. But it stings when I see how much effort he puts in with someone else. It's like he's forgotten I even exist." Meri, on the other hand, carried her typical quiet grief. "People think I'm stealing Cody away," Robin, who was caught in the middle, said tearfully. "But that's not true. I didn't ask him to spend more time with me. He just chooses to. I feel guilty because I know the other wives are hurting." Tension was high as the spouses sat in a circle during the subsequent family meeting, which was nothing short of explosive. "Cody, you have to realize that we feel abandoned. You can't just spend 5 nights in a row at Robin's and expect us to be okay with it," Christine said first. "It's not about favoritism, it's about fairness," Janelle added. "We all agreed to a plural marriage, which means equal time, equal effort." Meri was silent at first, but then she broke off, saying, "Do I no longer matter to you? I can't even recall the last time you spent the night at my house. I'm trying my best to be there for everyone, but yes, Robin needs me more right now. Her kids are little, and she's struggling." Why can't you see that instead of accusing me of favoritism? Cody, who was obviously irritated, attempted to justify himself. We all needed you at different points, and you weren't there. You chose. That's the truth, Christine said, refusing to accept it. By the end of the night, nothing had been settled, and the women had left more split than before since the cameras had recorded every tear, every irate comment, and every quiet that spoke louder than anything else. They want me to be everywhere at once. I can't. Maybe I spend more time with Robin. But it's not about love. It's about where I feel wanted. And right now, that's with her, Cody said with a heavy sigh during his final confessional. What happens when one wife becomes the focal point of a husband's universe in a family founded on equality? This was the unanswered issue at the end of the episode. But although emotional storms were nothing new to the Brown family, tension reached a breaking point during Mykelti's second pregnancy. Mykelti and her husband Tony had made the decision to give birth at home, which had generated intense arguments within the family. Mykelti's mother, Christine, was fully in favor of the decision, believing in her daughter's strength and wanting her to have the experience that she felt most comfortable with. Cody, on the other hand, was less supportive, loudly and frequently expressing his concerns. During a family get-together, Cody had spoken plainly. With his arms crossed and a severe expression, "You're putting yourself and the baby at risk." It's her choice, Cody. You don't get to dictate everything anymore. Your stubbornness has already cost you enough of this family, Christine retorted. As always, Janelle attempted to maintain equilibrium by supporting Mykelti while also noting Cody's concerns. Robin, attempting to mediate, gently urged for calm, but Meri remained detached, just nodding occasionally. Mykelti, who was determined to concentrate on her health and her baby, relied heavily on Tony and her mother. But in private moments, she told Christine that the lack of unity was breaking her heart. As the weeks went by, the family's relationship deteriorated further. Phone calls became heated arguments, and visits became infrequent. The atmosphere was as tense as the thunder roaring outside when labor started late one stormy night. The midwife came quickly, but problems emerged almost immediately. Mykelti's contractions were severe, and the baby wasn't in the best position. Christine held her daughter's hand and whispered encouraging words, while Tony did his best to remain composed despite his own anxiety. The midwife started to worry after a few hours, saying cautiously, "We might need to transfer to the hospital." Mykelti shook her head, resolute. "No. I can do this. I will do this." As news of the challenging labor spread swiftly, Robin called frequently for updates, Janelle hurried over to offer assistance, and Cody arrived after midnight, clearly nervous, pacing the living room like a caged animal. "This is what I was afraid of," he repeatedly muttered, and Christine ignored him, concentrating solely on her daughter. Mykelti finally gave birth to a healthy baby boy at dawn after nearly 20 hours of exhausting labor. The newborn's cries filled the house with tears of relief and joy, and Christine sobbed openly while holding her daughter and grandson. Tony, overcome, kissed Mykelti's forehead and whispered, "You're amazing." For a brief moment, the family was reunited, the miracle of new life overshadowing the problems of the previous hours, and even Cody, who had been doubtful and critical, softened as he held the infant for the first time. The calm, however, was short-lived as the baby slept and Mykelti relaxed, bringing back old disagreements over who would be best suited to aid Mykelti and who was right or wrong about the birth. The family broke up once more, their scars too deep to be healed in a single night. Mykelti, however, maintained her composure and muttered, "This little one is proof that we can survive the storms." Even when the family breaks apart, love is still stronger, as she gazed down at her child. She then closed her eyes, deciding to put her baby's future ahead of the turmoil in her family. But the season begins with a broad overview of Flagstaff, Arizona, where the Brown family has spent years attempting to create a future, but instead of harmony, there is disarray, and the months ahead hold more heartache, drama, and unexpected twists than ever before. Meri feels more alone than ever, her loyalty put to the test as she questions whether Cody even wants her around anymore. Robin, once regarded as the peacemaker, is now in the center of the storm as tensions rise among the wives, and Meri Brown, once the self-assured patriarch who dreamed of building one large house for all his wives, is now stretched thin, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. His relationship with Christine remains strained despite her moving forward with her new life, and Janelle is beginning to wonder if staying in the family is really worth the sacrifices. In one shocking scene, Meri storms out after Janelle tells him that he no longer treats her like a partner, only a roommate. "You only give your heart to Robin," she says, her voice shaking, and Meri yells back that she doesn't respect him as the head of the household. This season, cameras follow the Browns as they try to get together for family dinners that end in heated arguments. Robin tries to comfort him, but even their relationship is faltering as financial strains increase. Meanwhile, Christine's new marriage looms in the background, escalating Meri's fears. In a dramatic confession, Meri says, "I thought I could handle her leaving, but watching her fall in love with someone else, it feels like betrayal." Some of the children completely ignore family get-togethers, while others make a valiant effort to reunite the family. Michael D tries to throw a baby shower, but it ends in awkward silence as Meri and Janelle sit on opposite sides of the room and refuse to talk to each other. But there are also moments of healing and hope. Meri bravely takes a step toward independence by talking about a new business venture that might provide her the freedom she has long desired. Janelle starts to live life independently, looking at properties and deciding whether she wants to start over completely. Christine briefly returns to Flagstaff, not to renew old relationships, but to demonstrate to her kids that it is okay to move on. As the season progresses, Meri calls everyone to a tense family meeting to finally decide the future of the Brown family. The wives sit in a circle, exchanging anxious looks as Meri starts talking. Will the Browns remain together in spite of everything, or will this season be the end of the plural marriage that began it all? Tears, yelling, embraces, and Janelle's iconic statement, "We're not just breaking apart as a marriage, Meri. We're breaking apart as a family," are all hinted to in the final teaser. Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sabrina, and I hope you are having a great day. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the video.